What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Friday. Finally, Friday. Oh, it's almost the end of the month. Holy crap. June 28th, 2024. I never checked the date. I hope that's right. Anyways, it's your old pal Joe bringing it to you every single day, 365 days a week. Wait, days a year. That'd be crazy. Weeks would be really, really long if they were 365 days. So anyway, hey, visit the Buckeye Cast. Get yourself a Buckeye shirt. Show your Buckeye State pride. Get a shirt, hat, whatever. Oh, got some coffee reburbs. Reburbitation. Looks like they're mowing the fairways this morning. Appreciate you guys. Looks like shit. Anyway, what else? That's about it. We're going to go live today, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the YouTubes. If you're listening on podcast, I will release the audio version later, probably Saturday morning. Usually that's what I try to do. But and then me, Jeff, and Sean will be back in a couple of weeks for our Sunday night show. Just want to keep you up to date in case you have taken some time away. I hope you're having a great summer. It's going to go by fast this month of July. You got a holiday weekend coming up next week. Then, so everybody's going to be like, gonzo for a week. And then a few more weeks, they got Big Ten Media Days, get to hear some players talk and stuff like that. So camp's going to start before you know it. Buckle up. And we're going to have some recruiting updates. Keep your eyes peeled for a breaking booms. That's why you should be subscribed to this channel. And if you're listening on podcasts, I love you people too. Make sure you're following the show in your favorite podcast app and get every new show, every new episode when it comes out. If somebody commits, I'm going to release a breaking boom episode and you're going to want that. That's what she said. All right. Today, so we're continuing my creative summer, I guess we can call it. The other day we talked about how many shutouts the Ohio State defense will have in 2024. Well, this one is more focused on one specific player. This guy doesn't get a lot of attention, so I'm going to give it to him today. Here's the question, and I love to get your comments your answers, your opinions in the chat, in the comments, in a review if you're listening on podcast, whatever. You know how to call, text, email. All my contact info is in the description of each episode. So today we're going to ask the question, can Emeka Egbuka break the Ohio State career receiving yardage record, currently held by Michael Jenkins? Let me know what you think. Hit me in the comments, call me, whatever, and let me know what you think about Emeka Egbuka breaking the record. He only needs like just over 1,000 yards. Let's talk about it. So the expectations are through the roof for this entire position group, the receivers. Definitely will not be easy for Emeka, but Michael Jenkins, your current record holder, he put up 2,898 yards from 2000 to 2003 in his 4-year career. So far, Egbuka has 1,857 yards. So 1,857 yards through 3 seasons. Right now, he's on 17th all time. Sounds like he's pretty low, but Emeka will need 1,041 yards to tie Jenkins' record. This is definitely possible when you consider a potential 16-game schedule with the playoffs expanding and everything. Emeka had 1,151 receiving yards in 2022. That was his big breakout year. And both him and Marv recorded 1,000 yards that season each. Did you know? Here's a did you know factoid. Did you know Ohio State only has 9 receivers with 1,000-yard seasons? But Emeka is one of them. So I got some graphics to show you. I pulled up from PFF. I want to show you. First, I want to talk about, where Emeka does his damage on the field. And I want to talk about his stats and things like that from 2022, because He really was a focal point of the offense, even with having Marv on the other side. So um, we'll get to the depth in a minute, but in his final season as a Buckeye, can Emeka do it again? Can he get another 1,000-yard season? He's going to have to stay healthy for virtually the entire year. He could miss a game or two, but he could break the record without playing in every single game this season. Last year, he missed 3 games with the ankle injury. He had the tightrope surgery and returned earlier than normal after that procedure. And the ankle was never back to full strength the rest of the season. Let me pull up his game by game. Yeah, there was a significant drop off in his targets and his receptions. So, like he in the Notre Dame game, for example, week 4, he had 10 targets, 7 catches. Then bye week, then just 4 targets against Maryland, 5 against Rutgers. So Maryland is when he injured the ankle, then took a week 7, 8, 9 off with the injury. Then when he came back, though, against Rutgers, just 5 targets, 4 catches. Against Michigan State, just 3 targets, 1 catch. Minnesota did have 8 targets, 5 catches. Against the Cheaters, 6 targets, just 3 catches, though. And against Missouri, 8 targets, 6 catches. Seemed like nobody had a catch that day, though. So the ankle was not back to full strength the rest of 2023. He finished with only 515 yards last year. So, but this year, 2024, Emeka has a few things working in his favor that could help him break that record. First of all, most importantly, he's going to be fully healthy to start the season. Knock on wood. Marv is off to the NFL, so he's not taking targets or catches away from Emeka anymore. And Emeka is the leader of this room. He is your wide receiver 1. He's the focal point of the offense, at least in the throwing game. So I want to point out that we should not forget how effective, how good he was in 2022. So I looked up some stats against other Power 5 receivers across the country that had at least 80 snaps on the season. So that's like 50% of 160. Yeah. So 80 snaps is not much. That's just 80 snaps being on the field, not even 80 targets or 80 catches, just 80 snaps, So against other Power 5 receivers, Emeka was 13th in total targets with 106, 13th in percentage of targets caught. He was 5th in yards against Power 5, 1,151, 7th in touchdowns with 10, 5th in yards after catch with 526. So almost half of his yards came in the yard after catch variety. He was also 8th in average yards, 7.1. So wherever he caught the ball, you could guarantee he's going to get 7 more yards at least. And one of the most important stats, in my opinion, he was 7th in first downs with 53 first downs. That's key. That's knowing where the chains are and knowing you need to get that. So 7th in the country with 53 first downs. That's huge. So how did he do it is the question. So let's I've got a little depth chart, kind of a chart, but it's not a depth chart. But anyways, it's talking out my ass. Let me share this with you. This is 2022 Emeka Egbuka. Hopefully it's not getting cut off. Anyways, so I wanted to focus on the areas I outlined in red right down the middle. These segments of the field, these sections. This is where Emeka does the damage, just like JSN used to, right over the middle of the field, 0 to 10 yards, and then 10 to 20, the short and intermediate middle of the field routes. Look, he had 20 catches of 26 attempts right over the middle, 0 to 10 yards, just finding that little hole in the zone, whether a linebacker vacated or whatever, linebacker blitzed, just finding that hole and showing the QB your hands, and he hits you. So 20 for 26, right over the middle. And then in that intermediate 10 to 20 yard range, 16 of 25, 363 yards. Look at the yardage right over the middle in those two segments, 363 plus 231. That is almost 600 yards. So public school math. That is over half of his yardage on the season, right over the middle. And look at the touchdowns, 9 touchdowns. That's huge. And if you look to the outside left, just 5 of 7, 3 of 5, outside right, 3 of 7, 6 of 7. And then you do have your behind the line of scrimmage, your little pop passes and things like that. He was 12 of 13, but he's only getting 126 yards because we can't block on the perimeter still. That's tight ends and receivers both. So that is how he did his damage. Unshare that. All right. That's why I need a producer, man. I can't afford it. Anyway, I realize the quarterback does make the difference to some degree. They have to deliver the ball accurately and on time. 2022, obviously, CJ Stroud, the ball placement specialist, was delivering the balls in Emeka's 1,000-yard year. 2023, I know, we don't have to rehash Kyle McCord's season, but he still was able to find those intermediate routes with a dinged up Emeka Egbuka. Now, 2024, same here. I want to show you, we're going to assume Will Howard is a starter, right? I think that's fair to say. Whoever the starter is, doesn't matter, because I'm showing you Will Howard's accuracy over the middle of the field in those exact same segments I just showed you with Emeka. So in these sections of the field, 0 to 10, 10 to 20 in the middle, 0 to 10, 84 of 112. Excellent numbers, 830 yards. This is just last year with Kansas State. 6 TDs right over the middle. So 84 of 112. That's a great completion percentage. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It sounds like 75%. Then at 10 to 20 range, 25 of 43. Again, almost 500 yards, 4 TDs right down the middle. So look at how accurate he is in those segments where Emeka is successful. That is going to be how Emeka gets it done, gets that 1,000 yards here in 2024. Looking out to the left, 8 of 17, 10 of 14, not fantastic. Out to the right, much more productive, 10 of 18, 23 of 33. It's like 65%. So better, but right down the gut, right down the middle of the field is where you're going to get your money made. So I expect Emeka to have the same type of season as he did in 2022. This doesn't take a Joe Montana to deliver the ball right down the field, which is kind of what I'm trying to point out here. But Emeka's biggest competition from breaking Michael Jenkins' record is going to be his own teammates this year. And we talked a ton about the freaky freshman Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate, he's ready for a year 2 breakout, right? So then you got Ennis waiting his turn, wants some reps. He wants snaps, plus the rest of the talent in the room, Ballard, Bryson Rogers, But with even the loaded starting lineup, he should still have a high number of targets, well over that 106, I believe. I think he's going to be closer to 120, 130 in a 16-game season, of course. So then also add in the factor of new offensive coordinator Chip Kelly. He's going to have a plan to make sure all the receivers get plenty of action, plenty of looks. So it's not going to be an easy record to break. I know that. But even if he doesn't become the all-time yardage leader, he could easily break into the top 5. Chris Olave is currently 5th with 2,711 yards. So Emeka would need 854 to get into Olave's position in the top 5. So that's easily doable. Again, health is number 1, but for the sake of this argument, we have to assume he's going to be healthy for 14 of the 16 games. So personally, I hope Egbuka finishes his Ohio State career with the 1,000 yard season, two of them. He averaged more than 8 targets per game in 2022 with Marv on the field at the same time. So I expect at least 10 per game in 2024. Maybe it could be up to a dozen. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Emeka break the record? That's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.